Last week on the channel, I discussed Gladiator, saying that I believe it to be one of the best movies ever made, and my personal favorite historical epic of all time, which is exactly why Gladiator II was my most anticipated film of 2024 going in. So, did it live up as a worthy sequel to the 2001 Best Picture winner? I'm gonna get straight to the point here. Gladiator II is very mid. Compared to the 2000 masterpiece, this movie doesn't compete whatsoever. It's by no means a bad movie. In fact, it's not going to be anywhere close to my worst movies of the year list. However, I couldn't help myself but constantly compare Gladiator II to the original. Is that a mistake on my part? Should I not be expecting the absolute best from a sequel that's coming after one of the greatest movies of all time? I know some people aren't being hard on it. After all, I'll admit it's a little strange seeing a historical epic sequel. As far as I know, there aren't any others. But you can certainly stretch out a Gladiator II because the main story of the original is fictional, while many of the characters and settings are based on history. And Gladiator doesn't even focus on a historical event. Unlike The Last of the Mohicans, for example, Gladiator just took a period in time and blended history with fiction. So there's no reason you can't make a compelling sequel that does the same. Regardless, Ridley Scott finally made his Gladiator II, and I was disappointed to say the least. Again, not a terrible movie, it's just very flawed and doesn't live up to Gladiator's legacy. I don't see myself ever watching it again. Now, there are many flaws within the sequel that I'll quickly touch on. I want to begin with my biggest problem though. But before we continue, real quick, make sure you click that subscribe button and turn on all notifications for upcoming videos. For as many problems as there are in Gladiator 2, issues I can't overlook, the one that stands out to me most is the severe lack of grit and emotional storytelling. Okay, if you've seen the movie, keep watching, but if you haven't, this is diving into spoiler territory. So go watch the movie, then watch the rest of this video. Quite possibly the best part of the original Gladiator is, in fact, the storytelling. Not only are you gripped by Maximus's journey from an emotional standpoint, but the journey itself feels realistic as well. Ridley Scott in 2000 made an authentic Gladiator movie, one that also made you care about the characters. Once Commodus betrays Maximus and kills his family, you want nothing more than Maximus to get his revenge. At the same time, when Maximus goes on this journey, fighting for his life through several gladiator matches, there's something about it that comes across as genuine. This is not an uplifting story, it's one that focuses on death. There's nothing about Gladiator that's happy, they don't sugarcoat it for you. Meanwhile, when Paul Mescal is going on the same journey in Gladiator 2 as Maximus once did, it's missing that gritty nature. Mescal just goes through the motions in each gladiator battle without an ounce of fear on his face. But you actually feel something for Maximus when he's put out there to potentially die. It never feels like he's totally safe from death, especially when others are dying horrifically around him. Whereas Mescal just goes in and out of every match with ease, as if he can't be killed. It comes off as so fake. Maybe I feel this way because the build-up is kind of rushed in comparison to the original, but I would accept an artificial build-up with every passing match if the storytelling was better. Unfortunately, you just don't care about Mescal's Lucius the same way you did about Russell Crowe's Maximus. This is all thanks to half-baked storylines. So the big motivator for Mescal in Gladiator 2 is that he wants revenge on Pedro Pascal because he's the one that led the Roman army who killed his wife in battle. But Pascal didn't actually kill her, and he's not even a bad guy either. Funny enough, he's married the Mescal's mother here, and wants to end Rome's corruption. He was literally just doing his job when she just so happened to die in battle. Could Lucius really expect her to survive a battle against the Romans anyway? So when Mescal and Pascal are having this short-lived fight in the middle of the movie, you don't really care that much because not only did he not kill his wife, but he's not even a bad dude. Clearly, Denzel and the Twin Emperors are the big baddies. Why didn't the film just commit to one villain? There are so many great directions you could take this, but instead, Scott ends up delivering a story that's all over the place. It's your classic all-around missed opportunity here. That's my biggest problem with Gladiator II, but sadly, that's not the only one. I think the Gladiator fight scenes are too gimmicky. There's loads of crappy CGI in some, each one is cut short too, and none top any of the original's action sequences. I did, however, like Paul Mescal in the film. I do see him as an older version of Lucius from Gladiator. I just didn't like the direction they took his character in, and I can understand where people are coming from who say he's been miscast. He certainly doesn't have the gravitas Crow had. I don't think he necessarily needed to, being this character, although I think if they opted for a different story, they could have cast someone that fit the charismatic persona a Gladiator story needs. We didn't need a story about Lucilla's son, a child I never pictured as a strong gladiator when he grew up. Also, the cinematography. For a historical epic, it's much too clean. They never dirty up the frame, it's missing that cinematic look that made it feel like ancient Rome in 2000's Gladiator, as if the entirety of Gladiator II was literally filmed in a studio and not on location. So all in all, Gladiator II disappointed the hell out of me. I know some people are okay with it. Me? My expectations were higher for this one. But I am curious to hear your thoughts. What did you think of Gladiator II? Did it live up to the original for yourself? Let me know in the comments. And of course, as always, thank you all so much for watching this movie review. If you haven't done so by now, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you all in the next one. See you then.